Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So my name is Caitlin. For those of you that don't know me, I create book content here on YouTube. Um, so yes, I am back with another video, and I am just going to keep this intro short, sweet, to the point, and without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into it. Okay guys, so as many of you could tell probably by the title, today's video is going to be a book review. So we are reviewing Ali Hazelwood's newest book release, Bride. This came out February 6th. So this was my very first Ali Hazelwood book that I have read. So I really liked this book, and yes, so I have some notes on my phone that I'm going to follow and just kind of give my thoughts and opinions and feelings on this book. So, yeah. So, I'm just going to start off by going through kind of like some of the tropes that are in this book. So, first and foremost, this book is a slow burn. So, basically, you really don't start to see any like spice or action until later on in the book, but I will go into that a little bit more later in the video. It's also a marriage of convenience, which I haven't read very many books with this trope in it, but it was alright. It is also a enemies to lovers, which is hands down one of my favorite romance tropes ever. I just love the banter that comes with the characters and just everything like that. It was written in a one POV, which I'll kind of get, again, I'll kind of go into more of my thoughts on that in a little bit. Also, I just put this in here. I put it that it's a open door romance. So basically what I mean by that is you get that spice in the book. Like it's not closed door, so it's not like as conservative, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's just some of the tropes that are in this book. So I rated this book a 4.5 star. The reason I didn't go all the way to a 5-star is because some of the stuff at the beginning of the book I wasn't really understanding, I guess, because I've never read a book that's been set in this sort of universe. So I just wasn't understanding some of the concepts, I guess you could say, at the beginning of the book, but as I progressed through the book, I definitely understood it more. And that's the only reason I didn't go through and give it a 5-star. A lot of other reviews that I've seen on this book, they're very mixed. Like some people rate it 2 stars, some people rate it 5 stars, some people are in the middle. So this is like a very kind of like you have to read it to establish your own kind of opinion on it. But yeah. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump into kind of a little of what this book is about. So this book follows our main character, Misery Lark. She is the daughter of the main councilman vampire. So this book has 3 different, I guess you could call them societies, a part of its world. So you have the vampires, the werewolves, and the humans. And they're all trying to kind of form alliances and just kind of try and come together as one, I guess, but there's always like this outgoing conflict between them. And when Misery was little, she was sent to the human territory, I guess you could call it, to basically act as collateral between the vampire and the human alliance, as well as the humans sent someone over to the vampire council to act as collateral for them. So that way, if either of them did anything that they didn't approve of, they didn't agree with, they didn't like, whatever the case may have been, there was someone there to take the fall. So when Misery turned 18, she basically like graduated, um, I guess. So she was no longer used as that collateral for the vampires. They sent someone new to the human town. And at that point, Misery decided that she wanted to move back to the vampire council to try and live there again. But she never felt like she truly fit in because she did not grow up among her people. So she just felt like she didn't fit in with them. She ultimately decided to go back to human territory to live with her best friend because she just felt like she fit in better there. Because while she was in the human town acting as collateral, she didn't really get to, I guess, learn the ways of her people, if that makes sense. Um, Fast forward a little bit, Misery's best friend ends up going missing, and it concerns Misery because her and her best friend are super close. They don't go anywhere without telling each other where they're going to be at. So she's concerned for the safety of her friend. And when she disappears, she starts to basically search for clues that will lead her to finding her best friend. And then fast forward a little bit more, um, Misery ends up getting called back to the Vampire Council to have a meeting with her father, where basically he tells her that she will have to act as collateral again and basically has to enter into this marriage for this alliance. But this time, instead of going to the humans, she is going to the werewolves. Which the werewolves don't like this idea of a vampire walking amongst their kind because they're like the worst enemies of all because of a big old war that happened between their two people back like a long time ago. So werewolves don't trust vampires and vampires don't trust werewolves, to say the least. Misery is very apprehensive at first about this marriage because she knows the conflict that werewolves and vampires have, and she just doesn't want to basically go to this place where she will be one, outnumbered, and two, just all by herself. So, yes, to say the least, she does not trust the werewolves. Sorry I say so much, like I really need to get better at that. So, like I said, Misery is very apprehensive at first about this until she hears the name of the man she is set to marry. Now, if y'all have read the book, y'all know why this name is important. If y'all have not read the book, just know this name is important and is why Misery agrees to enter into this marriage. You'll have to read the book to find out more on why that is important. So, the name of the man she is set to marry piques her interest, and she goes into this marriage with hopes of being able to gather information that could potentially lead her to finding out what happened to her best friend. Because she finds out information that leads Misery to believe that the werewolves are responsible for the disappearance of her best friend. So that's kind of the gist. And like any good old romance novel, of course, you have them catching feelings for each other. So they definitely catch feelings for each other in the book. Spice level of this book, I would say, is a 3 out of 5. Um, like I said, it is an open door, so like you definitely do get kind of like those extra details in the spice. But as well as that, it is a slow burn, so you don't really start to see any of that spice come through the book until you're about 55 to 60% of the way through, which honestly, in this style of book, I kind of appreciated because I feel like it allowed for the readers to kind of gain this connection to the characters, but it also allowed time for the writer to build this universe for us in which this book takes place. Because if y'all have read anything else, Allie Hazelwood, y'all know she is very much about writing women in STEM, so like in science, like the Love Hypothesis and books like that, which I haven't read yet, but I do own. Um, but yes, Allie Hazelwood is very much known for writing books like that. Not so much writing books that are placed in the universe that Bride takes place. So I really appreciated it kind of being a slow burn because, like I said, it allowed for the writer to create this universe for us. Also, I feel like the ending of this book, the way Allie Hazelwood ended it, I feel like she is setting us up to potentially have more books written in this universe. If you have read the book, you probably agree with me on that point. Also, if you've read the book, I don't know if everybody, I know there's different like exclusives, I guess, so I don't know if they each have like their own little thing. I got mine from Walmart, and at the back of mine, I have like this little bonus essay thing at the back of mine where basically Allie Hazelwood kind of went into kind of like detail on certain aspects of the book. Um, but she also mentioned that what inspired her to write a book in this sort of genre was that she loves reading books set in this genre. So, but she also really enjoys writing in this genre. So, I definitely feel like we're going to be seeing more books set in this genre from Allie Hazelwood in the future. So, like I said, this book is written in a one POV, um, which at first I thought would bug me because all of the books I've read up to this point, or to that point of before I read Bride, had all been dual POVs, which honestly I generally enjoy better in my romance novels just because I feel like it, you know, adds to the story because that is what everybody says. There's two sides to every story, and I feel like the dual POVs just portray that aspect of it. But I feel like the writing style of Allie Hazelwood just portrayed it so well that the one point of view didn't really bug me. However, a fun little snippet I figured out. It took me a minute to figure it out, but I figured it out. I'm flipping to a chapter here to show y'all. Okay, don't mind the book. So at the beginning of every chapter, we get these little like snippets up here before the actual chapter itself starts. And like I said, it took me a minute to realize, but those little snippets that we're getting at the beginning of each chapter is actually little snippets of what our main male character is thinking. So it's like she was trying to add the aspect of dual POV without, I guess, fully committing to it, if that makes sense. Which honestly, once I figured that out, that that's whose point of view we were reading from, it made some of the stuff make more sense. So that is what I got, y'all. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. I would definitely recommend giving it a try. If you've never read a book like this before, definitely give it a try. Even if you don't like it, at least you can say you tried it. Okay, guys, so that concludes my book review on Bride. Like I said, um, this book was really unique. This was one of my most anticipated book releases for 2024, and even going into it, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to enjoy it, but even I surprised myself and gave it a 4.5. So if y'all have never read a book set in this genre and you're kind of hesitant, just pick it up, give it a read. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't, but you'll never know unless you try it. So I just, I felt like it was a super easy read kind of once I got over that beginning point and kind of started to understand what it was kind of talking about. I enjoyed it once I figured out kind of what was going on. I definitely enjoyed it, and it was a super easy read, and I feel like I was just flying through the chapters, and I wasn't even like realizing how fast I was going through the chapters until I'd hit the next chapter. But yeah, I feel like it was just a super easy read. So with that being said, I would recommend y'all to try it if you want to. If not, that's okay too. Make sure you give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. All that good YouTube stuff y'all know how to do. And I will catch y'all in my next one. Bye, guys.